All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy Wednesday, May 13th, coming to you live, coming to you well, coming to you fully rested. Been up since 4 a.m. this morning. Yes, your boy is a little bit crazy, but it's all right. You got to be a little bit delusional about success. You got to be able to be a little bit crazy about success. The crazy ones are going to win. The crazy ones are the ones that are going to truly, truly find opportunities to provide for their families. And so I'm stoked to see you all your crazy faces on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So we're going to kick this thing off. Per usual, I have somebody bring us out on the field, set the tone, set the energy, and kind of share their thoughts of wisdom. That person is going to be our friend all the way from New Jersey, Adina. She is a light. She is a friend of mine. I'm so glad that you're in the space today. So, Adina, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Share your thoughts and energy as if we are coming out of the tunnel and out on the field for game day. Let's roll.
Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. I knew you were going to call on me. I love the energy as always. I just want to, give everybody the positive vibes. You know your worth. You know how great you are. And that's why you're here. That's why you've connected with Elias. That's why you're here on these weekly group coachings. So don't take yourself for granted. Don't take your skills for granted. And let's get after it.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for being here twice in a week. I get to see you guys. If someone is new to this group, Ashley, what's something that they can expect from our group and our time together today? Ashley, I'll go to you, my friend, since you're all lit up.
I love this group. It's an amazing group of authentic humans, no gatekeeping, everyone just helping each other grow, holding each other accountable, and getting better together. It's great.
Well, I appreciate you, my friend. I really do. I'm going to pull up some things because I had some thoughts. I had some thoughts for you guys, and I want to pull up something here on the screen. So on Wednesdays, we have a high level conversation about the market. I want you guys to take the mic today, share your thoughts, your wisdom, nuances. What's great about the Bay Area is that it's a microclimate. So from San Francisco, East Bay, all the way out to the Central Valley, Sacramento, Greater Sacramento, we're all serving different markets. And so I feel that this is a great space for us to really talk about what we're experiencing, because what Philip's experiencing might be different than what Andre's experiencing. But the way that we talk about the market is what we can really, really lean to each other for to gather new information or new insights or new ways to approach something. And so remember what I tell you. It is important that we practice. It is important that we perfect our message to market. So when we're speaking with our consumers, there's some fluidity to it. I don't want that fear to come up when someone says, well, tell me a little bit about the market. Well, I don't want there to be this shake. I don't want there to be this pause. And so what I did today is I created something really cool that each of you can do based on your own market data. Now, every single one of you should have access to some type of archive data from your MLS. If you're a part of Bay East Association of Realtors, you'll have that, whether you're Jersey, whether you're Sacramento, there's going to be some place that you can review archived information about the market. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to do this project through your new friend, Claude. Now, if you don't have Claude, it's okay. Download that and we'll have this conversation at another time. The message will still be clear. So what I did is I did a little research and I wanted to go back a few years and I went into some archive data, and I'm just going to pull this up here and I'm going to show you guys this because every single MLS has access to archive data. So I went into the Bay East Association of Realtors and I looked at all of the archive data. Now, if you're not a member of Bay East Association of Realtors, somebody's going to have to pull this data for you, which they can. If you need it from me, I can pull that for you. So what I did is I looked at this, and you can go back from, all the way to 2018 to, let's see what we have here, how far it goes back. Geez, it goes back years, 2006. So if you're wanting to look at trends, what I would encourage you guys to do is just look at the last couple of years. When we're talking about appreciation, when we're talking about values, when we're talking about days on the market, average interest rate, all these things, cost per square foot, you guys can look at this data and you can say, okay, let me check some of this out and I want to review this. And I just pulled Alameda, for example, because it's just, it starts in alphabetical order. So what you could do is you could look at all this data and say, okay, wow, this is really, really cool data. It's very, very high level. Well, what do I actually do with this, right? How do I use this information to my advantage? First off, read the information, understand the information, but then this is how you leverage AI. You're going to take stuff like this, whether this is for single family homes, you could also take it for condos. you can literally take reports like this, and then you could put it into Claude and say, Claude, how would I use this in a presentation with my buyers and sellers to explain to them the reality of what's actually happened in the marketplace? How can I put this into a format that is easy to share and easy to understand for anybody? And so we all have the ability to do that. So what you do is you just take this data that might right now look a little unpleasing to the eye. It's not really that aesthetically pleasing. But now you take this and you start to transform it and say, how can I take this data and put it into a format that allows me to share this, present this, coach to this, educate, advocate for my consumers in a completely different way? And I'll show you an example of what something like this would look like. Now, mind you, I just ran this very quickly. I have to make sure to go through this data, but let's just take a quick look at what this would look like. And I'm going to pull up my slides in just a moment here, and then I'm going to just turn it over to you guys. All right, so let's go next. And then I'm going to pull up my screen here. Boom, bam, we're in. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm in. So let me share my screen, and then we're going to get right into this. Boom, bam. All right. And Ashley, I think that you'll like this because you are a numbers guru. So here's what I did. And I didn't even tell it to use my code or my colors. So I just did it really quick. That way you guys can see the power of this. So what I did is I took that screenshot from the Bay East Association of Realtors. Each of you have the ability to do that. So this is a report of Alameda detached single family homes. Here's my coach's breakdown and consumer flow. I told it to create a breakdown that I could share with you guys on screen today. Also create a flow that if you were speaking to your consumers, how you would use this information. So let's just go through some of this. The market the market in one breath, 1.9 average median sales price, up 6.9% from April of 2025. 18 days on the market is the average days on the market in Alameda, and 117% of list price. That's what people are paying in Alameda. Now, some houses, some blocks might be a little bit different. That number might be significantly higher. However, this is an aggregate and this is an average based on what's sold, based on the data that the Association of Realtors has. So continue on with me. Inventory is thin, only 1.8 months of supply. Anything under 6 is a seller's market. Demand is eating up supply. For breakfast last April, we had 39 active listings. This April, 34. Shelves are emptier and buyers are still showing up hungry. 34 active listings versus 39 in April of 2025. Good conversation pieces for you guys. Prices are climbing. As you guys can see here, I literally took that exact data, I put it into there, and as you can see, we had a little bit of a dip. Now we're going back up. Our hope is that we can get up to this area once again, but as you can see, there's definitely some trends that are moving in the right direction for our Alameda folks, as well as other cities throughout the Bay Area. 6.9%. Price per square foot climbed from 821 to 824 year over year sold. 18 days on the market, we just did that. So speed is obviously a huge factor in Alameda. Buyers are bidding hard. April of last year, 113% over asking price, 117. Here's the number of April sold. April sold in 2025. It's a comparison. You'll see your numbers on the far right side that shows the averages if they're down, if they're up. This is an ability for you to look at the market in a snapshot to understand what is actually happening and how do you articulate that and how do you deliver this information to your consumers. So, open with tension. If you're a buyer who thinks waiting will help, the data says otherwise. If you're a seller who thinks you've missed the peak, the data says otherwise. And so it's important that you look at it from both lenses, from your sellers as well as from your buyers, and be able to provide them accurate information and data based on the statistics of the market. Supply is shrinking, demand is hungry, price is responding. And then here's a couple things for you guys as I put in some coaching prompts for you guys. You set the scene, 30 seconds. Alameda is a seller's market, but disciplined, selective, and it's still moving fast. Show the big picture. Show the overall stats of what's happened year over year. Anchor year over year. Changes felt against familiar points. Inventory down, but prices are up 6.9% year over year. Tailor the lens. Buyer right to win, not to overpay, seller price for momentum, not to ego. You see, when it comes to positioning our offer, making sure that we are looking at the data, if you're going to present an offer at 105% and everything is selling at 117%, that's really not the best strategy. You want to make sure that you're breaking down all the data, you're presenting all the facts, and that you're presenting clarity to your buyers when they're ready to write. Address the quiet fear. Buyer, am I buying at the top? Seller, did I wait too long? And show the 12-month chart. Any buyer that's going to buy in a market that's 117% over asking price, and obviously Demian had a more extreme case of that recently. Well, a consumer needs to know if they're wanting to move within the next 5 years, this is probably not the house for them. This is probably not the market for them. That's probably not the neighborhood for them. If this is a home that they're going to sit on and truly allow it to build appreciation and equity, that's going to take some time for them to be in the positive. So we need to make sure that they're looking at the long run and they're not trying to move somewhere in the next few years because this asset's not going to make sense for them. And then the forward move. And one concrete next step, pre-approval by next Friday, walk through Tuesday, so on and so forth, and make sure that you guys are setting the tone. Now, I just wanted to show this to you as a quick example of what you can do in the moment when you guys are looking at data. You could pull up all of your comps from year over year. You could pull up your comps from this year, and you could put that entire report snapshot into Claude or other AI tools and say, give me an understanding and a breakdown of this data, and give me a script to be able to share this with my consumers in a way that they understand. You see, it is not their responsibility to interpret everything that we see on these data points. I see these confusing ass market updates on social media all the time. A consumer doesn't know what all that means. You got to go in and share with them the reality of these things. That's the market. That's the update. That's the highlights. Well, if you punctuate that by everything that's happening in their life, sometimes none of this stuff matters because they have an impending event in their life that is dictated in the market. You see, their life is saying, we need to move, we need to sell, we need to buy. And so it's important that we understand at a conscious level how to just communicate. Literally, I took that one page from the Bay East Association of Realtors, and we can go back all the way to 2006. And to show the comparison, I would encourage you guys, go back 5 years. 5 years, put 5 years of data into Claude and say, please break this down, show me annual appreciation in the city of Danville or in the city of wherever, and show this to me in a way that I could present it to my consumer that is wanting to wait to see what happens in the market. That shit is different, right? I understood that you have some concerns about wanting to wait. Let me share some data with you to really help you understand and give you a different perspective. You mind if I do that? Wonderful. Let me go right into that. Now that you show them, right? You show them. I have a friend that owns in San Diego, and they ran their value on their house the other day. $470,000 they're up. They bought their house in 2016. $470,000. Tell me what S&P, stocks, bonds, annuities, that you are going to be able to grow that much appreciation in 10 years. So it is important that we understand the market. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pause. And I'm just going to turn the mic over to you guys. We're going to kick back. We're going to hear each other talk about the market, patterns, nuances, conditions. You get to pick the area that you serve, the areas that you've been seeing homes in, the areas that you've been writing offers in. And I want to hear your unique vantage point of how you see this market right now. Everybody has a contribution. And if you're on the call right now and you're the person that says, fuck, I want to put my camera off because he might call on me. You are right. I might call on you, but this is an opportunity for us just to perfect our language, to make sure that it's clear that anytime somebody talks to you about the market, when you're at dinner, when you're at your family's house, when you have your stubborn uncle that fucking knows it all, you have something of fire that you could spit about the market right now, that you will always win with the data because you are the expert and you are the doctor. So I'm going to pause for a quick second. I'm going to have Ashley start us off. I'll have Jeff go next, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys. And I want to hear about how you are answering that very simple question. How is the market? And I want to hear from you guys. We're going to sit back and learn from each other, and we're going to go right into that conversation. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
So hold on, Oliver, take yourself off of mute really quick.
Hey guys,
I didn't mention a prompt. So sorry, but I don't know if you saw the first part. I literally took a snapshot of a market report and I put it into Claude and I said, help me understand this in layman's terms.
Okay, I did, but when you uploaded to Claude, I think you had written something fancy to have this specific report. That's what I
No,
was asking
bro,
for.
nothing fancy.
Okay.
Literally, I'll read it out loud what exactly that I put. Please break down this report so I can present the facts as a coach to an audience. Also, give me a flow for an agent to present this data to their consumers. Literally, that's nothing. There's no prompt. I just gave it some simple instructions.
Thank you for clarifying.
Awesome, brother. Let's go, Ashley. Let's hear from your lens, and we'll go over to Jeff, and then we'll shift gears and shift it right over to you guys. So be ready, because Ashley's going to pick the first person that goes. So let's roll, my friend.
So first of all, I love that tool. I love Claude, and I would love to see exactly where you click to get that information in Alameda County, because I think that is doing such a service to your clients and our clients to let them know, I know you have an opinion about how you want to put in the offer, but can I show you some data? And it's colorful and it's nice and it's in this presentation. So every area is going to be different, and I work all over California.
I'll pause you really quick because I want to show exactly how we got there. So I don't want to miss that. So if you're not a part of Bay East, then you're going to have to go to your local site to pull your archive data. But specifically for Bay East, you would go to MLS and tools and real estate market statistics. Then it's going to take you to this where it says market statistics archive. And then you click this, and then you have all of this data.
So you have to be a real estate agent to get to it.
Or you have to know somebody like me.
I need a buddy. Okay, got
take some screenshots of this shit for you and just send it to you. But I'm focused. Let's go back to, while we're here, let's go to Alameda 2000. And what year did I just choose? Look at how funky this report was. Let's go back here. God, they've been doing this forever. Wow. In 2008, the average sales price, medium single family home in Alameda was $677,000. You guys can't get a closet for that much on the island.
No. And right now, to the market temperature check, Demian, since you were already talking about it, they were putting in offers $3.2 million and getting beat out by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Finally, we got an offer accepted for, it was $2.2 million, and it just appraised for $100,000. I'm sorry, no, it was $3.2 million. $3.2 million and appraised for $100,000 over their offer price. So they're walking into equity.
103.
What was it?
Say that again. You broke up.
130,000 over asking.
130,000. So we're already ready to put that offer in and be competitive and not hold back, because they were losing out on deals for even waiting 2 hours to make up their mind on one deal. And so they were putting in competitive offers and still appraised over. So the values are there, and Oakland and surrounding areas in Alameda County, this is a great tool to show people, look, these are real things that have happened, real sales that have happened. If you want to buy in this neighborhood, you have to be ready, and here's the data to prove it.
Yeah, I think Demian's story is a really, really solid story, because in this situation, and this happens in multiple markets across the U.S., and I've said it time and time again, perceived value is what won in this case. It's not actual value, because the value was probably lower. They went well over asking price. Well, now you have a new benchmark. You have a new benchmark. And so from your lens, Ashley, what are you seeing from interest rates and what the market is doing overall? I'd love to hear that side of the business from you.
Okay, so there's a lot going on with interest rates. They're creeping up a little bit because we had some reports that came in were strong, but also we have a new Fed chair that may start. And there's a lot of headlines that are dictating interest rates all over the place. So when interest rates go up outside of those pockets of Alameda County, what we are seeing is a lot of seller credits, because you can then negotiate, and we're buying down our interest rates. The end interest rate for the buyer, I am not seeing high. What's marketed out there, I am seeing creep up a little bit, but then that opens the opportunity for seller credits. People are buying down their rates. We are about to have a new Fed chair president. They're voting in the Senate for that, and that'll start. Jerome Powell's done on the 15th, and federal policy does dictate a lot of how the interest rates go. Right now, with these strong economic reports, there's not a lot of reason to cut interest rates right now. But if there is negative economical reports, the person who is going to be the Fed chair, as long as the Senate passes them through, is more likely to cut rates than anyone else. So fingers crossed, but in the meantime, just know that if you strategize correctly, there are a lot of seller credits going on, and we can create win-win situations for the seller and the buyer in a lot of situations outside of where Demian was shopping. Not there.
Outside of where Demian was shopping. I love this. Let's go, Jeff, from your vantage point, my friend. What are some things that you can share with the team about the market conditions, patterns, nuances?
Yeah, just to kind of build on what Ashley was saying real quick about the market. I mean, of course, if you follow my Instagram, inflation reports have dominated the headlines the last 2 days, and not in a good way. So, which may give the Fed pause, but with Kevin Warsh coming in, we'll see what kind of stance they take in the coming months. So, rates are up a little bit, but maybe there's opportunities for some seller credits to offset that. That all being said, I mean, there's an article on CNBC this morning. Mortgage rates moved to highest level in 5 weeks, but home buyers shake it off. So the home buyers are still out there, and there's inventory is growing. I don't have any statistics around it, but just looking quickly at Brentwood, there's over 200 homes either listed or coming soon right now in Brentwood, 280 if you include homes that are pending. So, the activity is still out there. People still want to buy homes. We're in that season right now, although that, the seasonality part is flattening out across the year. But we're in that season. And even though rates are, where they're at, we've had higher rates. We all know this. We talk about this for 4 years. I think people have kind of, quote unquote, I guess, gotten used to it. I don't know. But it's not as big of an issue as maybe it was a few years ago. So they're still out there and still shopping. So still a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to run a quick report right here. And Jeff, always appreciate your insight. I'm going to go here and go last activity. There's over 602 people online right now that have shown recent activity in our database. And we don't have recent communication, meaning within the last 48 hours. So there's a lot of people out there right now that are just looking around. And the sentiment of somebody that was looking in October, November, December might be vastly different right now, right? It just might be vastly different. They needed to wait it out. They need to hear positive information. They need to save a little bit more. But if they're out there right now online, we need to capitalize on that, because I feel like we miss opportunities because we call people too late. There's people right now in the database, hundreds of people that are perusing, they're meandering around, and we need to make sure to stop those people and talk to them about the reality of what's happening now, to see where their plans are, what's changed, what their timelines are, and if they're still motivated to buy a home in this market. And based on the data, it says that they are. So I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to go back to Ashley. Ashley, you're going to pick 3 people to share their vantage point about the market, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and those people are going to share, and we're just going to have them share about the market, what they're experiencing.
All right, let's go with Adina, and then Chris, and then let's go Tanisha.
Okay, TT is up. All right, cool. I love this. So we'll go Adina. Adina, you're in New Jersey, but when someone's asking you about your market, because I love to hear just the framework of how you're communicating about the market. Someone talks to you and they say, how's the market? What are we saying? What are you experiencing? And what's the information you deliver to a consumer? Let's roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in New Jersey, South Jersey specifically. My team's based in Marlton, New Jersey. We operate in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I'm working on getting my brand awareness in Gloucester County, New Jersey. So these are the kind of main ones that I'll talk about when I'm with my different clients. And it depends on what you're looking for and where you're at. So like right now in Gloucester County, it's actually a little bit more accessible than Cherry Hill and Marlton, New Jersey, because of the price ranges. You can get something it's like a medium price range of about $370,000 there, as opposed to Cherry Hill, where we're starting roughly at 500,000 median price, and then Marlton about 520,000 there. We're also seeing in Cherry Hill and Marlton, when you have good listings, good homes that are ready to move, they're getting offers, multiple offers, over asking offers and things like that. So it's very competitive for sellers because there's high demand and, of course, those rising prices. So that's been a little bit tough for some of my clients there, depending on what they're looking for. But again, it's really tapping into what's important for you and your family, your buying criteria, your non-negotiables as far as that there, and then finding the best way to get you in a city, a county, a place that works for you. So yes, very competitive seller's market for Marlton and Cherry Hill, and a little bit more accessible in Gloucester County areas.
Wow. Let's just pause for a second, okay? So no matter what market we are in, I just want to go tone, conviction, and overall flow. And I want to hear from you guys. Emily, what did you hear in her tone, conviction, and overall flow in her delivery of the market information? Emily, let's go to you, my friend.
She is very assertive in her execution plan that she has. She has her areas that she covers right now. She has her areas of next goals that she looks forward to next. And she seems very knowledgeable on the areas that she's servicing, and it's very inspiring that you seem very well put together. So I hope to gain more knowledge in my area, in the Bay Area, not just the East Bay. So those are very inspiring. You have a lot of conviction when you say that you want to work towards these next steps.
Thank you. I've been working on it. And thanks to Elias for always putting me on the spot. I'm getting much better at it instead of freaking out.
Hey, Dinah, so tell everybody, how long you been in the game?
So I am actually going to be 2 years in June, actually. So I'm fairly new, and I feel like I've gained so much momentum in the beginning of this year that right now I feel like I'm actually in my first year of consistency since like August, I would say. So 2 years, but I guess this is the first year.
So you guys, she's new like a lot of us, right? And so it's really, really great to hear. So let's go over to Chris, and then depending on audio, hopefully it's supported. Chris B, are you here? Going once, going twice. Chris, say that one. All right, I'm going to mute you, Chris. Your audio is not supported. Hopefully when you get into a more stationary place, we can hear from you. But TT, you are up, and then TT, you get to pass the baton to somebody else. So Tiance, and what did I call you the other day? DJ TT? Wait. Oh, no. TT McGillicuddy. The nickname has,
that's right. I got to write that down.
All right, my friend, talk to us about the market. Let's roll.
Sure. Well, thanks for always calling on me, people. Thank you. I love chatting with everyone. And Dinah, when you said 2 years, I was like, girl, I'm 1 year in.
And
so you seem absolutely more seasoned than I am. So I'm shocked that you're calling yourself new. Anyhow, I'm in Union City. However, I'm always in the Hayward market. I've had a bunch of deals in the Hayward market. And I get that question all the time. How is the market? It depends on what you're buying. Because in Hayward, in my opinion, it's vastly different if you're going for a townhome or a condo or a detached home. Detached homes are pretty competitive. I'm actually on my third buyer counter offer on a $1.2 million. And the agent just said, we just got another offer. I'm like, so now you want to negotiate? Because agents are shopping around our offers that we put in. That's the reality. And if you're looking for a detached home, let's get ready to rumble. I'm going to fight for you, but I'm going to tell you some information. I just pulled up my Bay East. detached homes are going for 103% of the list price. Now, when it comes to a townhome or a condo, which I'm telling everybody, especially first-time home buyers, please invest now, especially in Hayward, in the beautiful Hayward Hills. You can get a townhome for a very good deal. My last 2 Hayward deals, I negotiated 1-year paid HOAs, and everybody's all scared of HOAs, but we can get so creative because those homes are sitting on the market for a very long time. So if you are ready to get out there in this expensive Bay Area, let's start you off on a condo or a townhome, sit in there, build some equity for 2 years at least, and then get that detached home later.
Wow. So I just want to ask you, TT, like, when did it start becoming more fluid? When did like this start to roll like it is? Because it sounds solid. Like, tell me like a little bit about that progression and how you are able to speak with such conviction now.
I feel like just getting out there and doing things helped me. Every single transaction, whether I win or fail, is a learning lesson. And especially in life too, because there's so many flipping fires in life. I think just every single thing that I learn is beneficial to both sides of the world. So that's how I speak with so much more conviction. My buyer that I have right now on this $1.2 million, she just refused to listen to me. So I'm like, okay, it's just a learning lesson. We're going to go with what you want. This is our first property we're putting an offer in. So sometimes you just got to let them go through the experience and get rejected, even though I already predicted it and she didn't want to listen to me. The next one, we're going to get it and you're going to listen to me because she hit the Zillow button. She's my agent. Sorry, I deviated from your question.
No, it's so good. Fluidly.
Yeah, I think it's just the experience of being in the trenches with everyone and learning how to not take it personal, because in real estate, you're going to get beat up, but that's sales. It's sales. I think I was talking to Trinae yesterday. I related it to you know how guys try to holler at women, and us women are usually used to getting hollered at, right? But I'm like, I gotta be like them because they're always on the phone. And I'm like, I'm not used to it, but that's sales. You know, that's sales. We may not be used to it, but that, you know, when you're lonely at night and you don't have a man, who do you call? That one that's always in the DM. He's gonna take me out and pay for it. Same with our buyers, right? You know, you got to be in their ear. And finally, when they're ready, they're going to think of you because you've been in their DMs.
I feel attacked right now, T.
I love this analogy, my friend, because we all connect with this. We resonate with this. So really, really good stuff, Tanisha. I'm going to go to Marcus. Marcus, when you hear conviction, flow, tempo, like all things, cadence, my friend, what are you hearing from Tanisha's share?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no, she's questioning herself. It comes off very confident and elaborative, and breaks down, the reasons for her reasoning, if that makes sense, into a digestible format, without asking for reassurance, and just lays that out as the truth. What she said is true.
Man, I'll tell you what, you guys, when all I say is like, show me your receipts, like just do the work. And like, I could see it. It just fills me up with pride to see how much you guys grow and how much you guys are learning and applying. And like outside of the group, you're obviously doing the work, you're knocking the doors, you're going in the trenches, you're in the dirt. And so it shows, it really, really shows. And so really, really good stuff. Let's get one more contribution. Let's go, Adrian. Adrian, from what you've heard from Medina, as well as from Tiance, what did you hear with their flow, their conviction, their confidence, and the information delivered? Let's roll.
Well, I'm like 1 month in, so I'm like new. So yeah, but I'm still getting like a hand on the market. Like the one thing I did learn though, because I'm in the South Bay a lot. So I'm like around San Jose, Campbell, Sunnyvale, like Santa Clara, that area a lot. I did learn that the houses there are just like really fucking expensive for no reason. So that's one thing I definitely learned, but I'm still trying to get like I'm gonna start looking at the MLS more and like using Claude to check the market for other areas because I'm trying to familiar myself more to
So,
like
Adrian, here's a really good question, and I know that a lot of people have this answer. Why is the South Bay, and why will the South Bay always be elevated in price? Why?
it's a really good question. Can you like answer that for me one time so I can mirror that during
Hold on,
the
let's
next
actually reframe that. Somebody from the
Okay.
Bay Area answer that question. Why will the South Bay always have elevated prices?
Silicon Valley.
Say again.
Silicon
Yeah,
Valley.
like Silicon Valley, there's like a lot of
Uh,
like
tech.
wait, yeah, go ahead, Marcus, please, please.
Oh no, I was just for my guess, the tech and the job opportunity and the names that reside in there, like Google and Facebook or the chip making companies.
Totally. Semiconductor companies, you'll always have money that comes into Silicon Valley. You have people that are coming right out of college and are offered salaries of 300,000, 400,000. They're getting multi-million dollar bonuses to build platforms, to build AI tools. And so there's this constant influx of tech money that will never go away, never go away. And so there's always going to be elevated prices. And so it is all dictated based on the tech companies that are I mean, some of the biggest tech in the world comes right out of Silicon Valley. So there's always going to be money there, and that money drives the economy, and it's always been like that since time immemorial. So you are right, Marcus, 100%. Yeah, and absolutely accessibility to everything. You're not far from the beach, you're not far from the Bay, or excuse me, from San Francisco. So yeah, you're absolutely right. So really good stuff, Marcus. Adrian, as you practice and learn and you just work on your dialogue, it will just start to flow out naturally, and you'll start to really look at the data and be like, all right, how can I explain this in layman's terms where everyone can understand? So really good stuff. Appreciate your contribution, D Blood. So I think I saw your hand up for a minute, then it went down, and then we'll go to Chris. I think he's stationary.
Yeah, I was touching on a point that Tanisha made. I had this happen to me last week with an offer. We got a counter offer. My client wanted to take most of the 3 days that they had to respond to the offer. And within that time, the seller's agent had called me back and said they accepted another offer while our counter was still valid. So just wanted to make the point that in these competitive situations, in these competitive markets, keep the agents on the other side honest to contractual obligations, because this agent accepted another offer while our counter, we still had time to counter back that counter offer. And yeah, just make sure that you keep them honest, because I've never ran into this situation before, but it was almost too late without me making formal complaints. And so just watch out for those types of things, like them trying to shop your offer and accepting other offers while your clients still have time. Yeah, just make sure that people are upholding their ends of the agreement.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate your insight on this. Chris, I want to go back over to you, my friend. I think that you have an ability to share now. Ashley nominated you. Talk to us about your greater Sacramento area.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
All right, awesome. I pulled over for you guys. So basically here in the greater Sacramento area, I'm seeing a pretty balanced market. Homes are roughly sitting 30 to 40 days. It's getting busier now with the kids getting out of school. But for what I'm seeing, there's a ton of opportunity here in greater Sacramento. We still have one of the highest population growth year over year. People are still coming here. It's influx of people from the Bay Area. So what I'm seeing right now is that there's great deals to be had. Half the deals going in escrow right now are giving seller credits. So, and also investors are coming out. When investors come out, you know that there's deals to be had. 2 out of the 4 deals I have in escrow are investors. I just got one HUD foreclosure in escrow. Both of them have a combined equity position, like 150 grand in equity. One in Elk Grove, one in West Sacramento. That's just 8 miles from downtown. Each one of them I was able to get seller credits and to cover it. With my first-time home buyers, I got them as 2 new home builds. We're able to get 3.9% interest rates on it. So, and 6% on closing costs, free solar. So what I'm seeing in this balanced market, the keen and intuitive investor that understands global economic policies are taking advantage of the wars and inflation because they know that assets are going to grow. People are kind of hesitant, but the smart ones are coming in, entering the market. So with buyers, there's huge opportunities. As far as sellers, you got to come in really clean. Your house has to have professional finishes, updated, or else it'll sit for a while. People are a little bit more picky, which is pretty common here. But overall, it's a great market, great opportunity, and my buyers are acting right now because you got to take action, seize the moment in order to get that bag. So that's what I'm seeing currently.
Man, I really appreciate your vantage point. Appreciate you pulling over to share. It's always great to hear your expertise on the market. And Chris has been in the game has it been 20 years yet, or is it 15?
19.
19 years, you guys. So, we have people that are like Adrian, brand new, just figuring out her message to market. You have people that are in the middle. You have people that have been in this game for many, many years and are veterans. And so everything that you guys do in this game is a series of really, really good presentations. And so I want you to be able to focus and think in the power of moments when it comes down to your phone calls, when it comes down to your message to market, when it comes to your buyer consultation, listing presentation. Everything is a series of great presentations. So if you actually focus on these things and you put in the work, what will happen is that you'll find that you're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, if you feel caught off guard, oh my God, someone asked me for a buyer consultation. Well, then you should practice. You should be prepared. You should be ready for this. Somebody texted me the other day. Can I practice with you? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I share something real quick?
Please, bro.
Yeah. So yesterday I got a deal now, so I got a deposit check right here. So pretty much, I found this deal because I'm pretty cool with all the long-term agents that have been working here for a while. So I know a couple of big REO foreclosure agents. So I hit them all the time. What do you got coming to the market? What do you got coming to the market? And they send me these deals. So what I do is I share those deals with my investors and first-time home buyers and friends that I have that have been renting forever. They're capable, but just have been on the fence, So I came across this deal in Westsac, a 2020 townhome, 3-bedroom, 2-car garage, 2.5 bath. That's worth $450, literally $450. And it just fell out, and it came back on the market at $375. So we jumped on it right away. I put my offer in on the HUD website, EXP. If you guys need to get on the HUD NID, just email the EXP broker. They'll have it set up within a day to put HUD offers in, just to let everybody know. So we got that in. I was able to get 3% to cover closing costs. It's a friend of mine. He's a first-time home buyer. He's going to buy the property. Her payment total came out to $3,200. What she's going to do is she's going to rent it out for $2,900, even though she's taking a $300 negative every month. She's coming in on it with $75,000 in equity. I told her, and there's a house on the market for $450. Once that sells, it already has a positive equity position. So there's deals out there. I just got to throw them out there to the world. Because I even tell these people, this is a deal I would get myself. So just jump on it.
Really good stuff, Chris. I appreciate you. Kavita, you threw your hand up really quick and then it went down. I want to make sure I get your contribution. What do you have, my friend?
Yeah, hey, I wanted to say that I had a listing, last month. So initially when I started the listing, we had thought of multiple scenarios, what if the listing, doesn't go after the first open house, second open house, are we going to reduce price and all? But I'm pleasantly surprised actually to see that I have got multiple offers after just one open house. And the seller also moved quickly, because even after accepting the offer, there were multiple people reaching me out left and right and to see if the house is open. And I'm really happy that they were able to get all the terms, conditions, and we were able to move through quickly. And just 21 days of escrow, 13 days just to go into pending.
Beautiful. What city?
Is going stronger is what I felt from the last 1 month. Yeah.
Beautiful, Kavita. What city was that listing in?
It was in Herald, close to Stockton.
Okay, wonderful. Well, listen, I appreciate everybody's contributions today. Thank you guys for your insight. I wanted to ask you all, have you ever, and I'm going to shift gears in the conversation because I got something I want to end with. Have you ever spoke with somebody that was boring to speak to? Just raise your hand if you just sometimes can't stand their voice. Has that ever happened to you before? To where maybe, I don't know if you remember a commercial, it was Clear Eyes for dry, red eyes, use Clear Eyes, this flat monotone. You see, when we talk about rhythm, pausing, tone, slowing it down, speeding it up a little bit, bringing it back home, pauses. All these things are really, really important in your flow and your cadence and how you guys deliver your information. And so I wanted to share something with you as we wrap the session today so you guys can leave here as you're practicing and refining and becoming even better presenters. I saw a video the other day. I thought it was dope. I took that video link, just the link, nothing else, and said, I want to pull this in and I want to make it a coaching session. And I did just that. So I want to share this with you guys because I think that this is really, really cool for you guys to see and experience. And it's going to put some things into perspective here. So let me just start my slideshow here. And we are going to go right into this conversation. Why is it not letting me share my slides? Does somebody see it? How do I share my slides here? Slideshow. There we go. There we go. Boomer got it. Boomer got it. So let's go here from the beginning. Here's what I love about this, you guys. How you speak is how you lead. And I want you guys to follow along with this because when you think about the way that you present and the way that you speak, sometimes we need to perfect how we're really, really flowing in our cadence. Are we flat? Are we speeding it up? When I'm scared, do my words speed up? And so the way that you speak changes how people listen. The voice is not just delivery, it's identity express. Agents who master their voice, master their market, and every interaction is a broadcast of who you are. Your prospect feels your certainty before your words land. So let's go through some of this framework, you guys. We're going to be going more into this. Here's the 6 vocal dimensions. Flat. Some of you guys have spoke with that person that just flat. There's no rhythm in their conversation. It's like this. And if it was gauged on a meter, it would just run very, very flat. We've heard that person. Speed. Pacing equals confidence. Racing is anxiety. Sometimes when people are speaking and they're using speed because they don't have the confidence. Well, sometimes when somebody is pacing themselves, speeding it up at certain parts in their conversation, it's equaling to confidence. Speed plays a big factor in how you communicate with your consumers. Pitch, right? We've all heard that person that has that high pitch is to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow it down for a second. Find that baritone. Go with your high pitch at certain places. Go with your lower pitch. Color your conviction. Rising invites. Falling commandments. Volume. Weight your words. Quiet at the right moments is power. Sometimes you're just going to have to quiet some things down. If I want to talk to you about things that matter to me, to my family, to our heart, I want to bring it down. I think that it's important when you guys are talking about affairs of the heart and what this means to a consumer to purchase a house and have stability and have financial wealth for the rest of their lives, what that actually means for them, turning the volume down. The pause. The power of a pause. When somebody asks you a question, process. I think what it's easy for us to do as realtors and as sales professionals is to instantly hop on the next thing that we are going to say in that moment. It is so hard for us to just stop, think, process, and then respond. The pause, my friends, is so powerful to insert into your entire flow, and then you think about all. As I'm communicating, how do I use speed in my communication? How do I raise my pitch, lower my pitch, raise the volume, lower the volume, pause at times when it's needed? How do I combine all of this? Because some of you might be the person that just speeds through everything. Speeds through everything. Did you get that? Nope. Okay, let me go through it one more time. Maybe you're the person that just runs a flat presentation. Right? You see people and they're in the presentation in the buyer consultation. Yeah, that's right. Your volume might be a little bit too high. You don't have an inside voice. These are all things that I think back in my career that people have taught me and just shared with me and have gone through with me. So I want you guys to evaluate yourself this week. What I want you to do is I want you to evaluate these 6 vocal dimensions this week. And I want to come full circle on this next week. Once it gives you a little bit of time to think about it, think about your flow, your cadence, the way that you use words and you use your hands, do those match? When you deliver words from the heart, are you coming from here, thoughts from the mind, open mouth, open ears, right? How are your hands matching your words? And I promise you guys, once you sit there and you start to evaluate and even listen to some of your calls, you're going to be able to say, wow, there's some opportunities for me to grow, to enhance, to maybe slow some things down. There was an important pause there. They said that they had loss in their family, and you said, okay. And then, well, anyways, let me ask you, like, we do this, and if we do it conscious or subconsciously. We speed through things, or we have a flat tone. But if you're actually conscious of these things, what you'll find is that you'll become better presenters. And I want you guys all to become better presenters, because when you can do that, then you're going to build even more proximity to your consumers. And so I just want to leave you guys with that. And we'll get some thoughts and some takeaways on that, because I think it's really, really important that we continue to refine how we actually communicate with our consumers. Let's go to you guys, get some thoughts and some takeaways on the conversation. Adina, what do you have for us, my friend?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was really good because I noticed this in myself. I do a lot of the speed where I'm racing through things, like trying to, hey, great question. Let me answer that and let you know that I know what I'm talking about. And I want to really hone in on the pause, let kind of sit with it here and let them know, number one, I'm listening, I'm thinking about that answer. And then when I give you that there, it's in a controlled tone, controlled speed and everything. So you understand just, I guess, how I want to portray that. So that's a big thing for me. And then even being quiet, where it's like, on a phone call, asking a question, or, whether a call session or so, pausing to allow them to go through that information, or not to make it like awkward, but in a sense where it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait here until you answer the question. You know what I mean? Like just being more mindful of that and using that as a position of power, because, our knowledge, our experience in the market, in our positions and stuff like that, we do have that power, and just understanding that to portray it to my clients.
Really good stuff, my friend. Let's go to Ashley. I think I saw a hand or a reaction at some time. Love your contribution on the conversation. Thank you, Adina.
That was an accident, but I do love this. And I think that these skill sets apply everywhere in life. And a lot of times people say like, oh, like you said, somebody passed away and we don't know how to react. So we just kind of fly right through it. But we really should have a pocket plan. If somebody says something, we need to use that intentional pause, acknowledge their emotions. And it goes a really long way. The pause is really underrated. If you are saying something and you really want it to sink in and you leave space for a pause, it gives the beat for the client or whoever you're talking to absorb what you just said, even if it might feel a little awkward for you. It's very powerful.
Yeah, really, really good stuff, Ashley. I appreciate your contribution as always. Let's get one more thought on this. Let's go, Aaron, Chris. Give me a key thought, key takeaway from our time together, and then we'll start to wrap sesh.
I guess a key thought of mine is again, the way our language is, the way we communicate with people. It's interesting because in the calls with the rundowns with TT and Chris and Adina, what I got most from it was it just seemed like a natural conversation. The assertive nature of it and everything is a thing, but ultimately what I got from it was like I was talking to somebody about what they know, and they were giving me it back in a natural way that I could understand. And so I guess my overall take from this is that we all have our specific ways of communicating, and we all can improve every day in everything we do. And our language and our communication is one. And then also the part about kind of blowing through that. And I feel like most people that are on this call are empathetic enough to stop and acknowledge somebody talking about a death and something. But if you struggle with that, just take yourself back to anything you may have lost, a pet, a person. Anytime you lose something through death, it hurts, right? And so just take a moment to acknowledge that time that you experienced it and let it settle in, so that, that empathy, which again, I'm assuming is naturally there with everybody on this group, but it is something that we do have to take time. Me personally, myself, I feel like the place I need to take more time is the pause, the natural pause. Somebody tells me they die, I'm going to pause, and sometimes I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. But when I'm explaining things to people, it's like I get caught up myself wanting you to know everything right then and there. And so I've actively been working on like, look, I'm going to try to slow down. Again, I've been kind of on a mountaintop about partnering with people. Sometimes when you do a buyer's consultation with a partner on the team, you actively are aware that they're also there. And so you'll stop to give them space to speak too. And so I found that that's been a way that I've been able to slow myself down. And even sometimes when I'm getting like information overload, I have partners come in and be like, hey, do you have any questions? And they remind me to stop. So sometimes even utilizing the team to help you with your own things that you need to work on is another option for it all. So overall, language and the way we all communicate is spot on, and I love the diversity in it.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys at a very, very conscious level for just being here. I feel that there's always an opportunity. If you start to analyze, sometimes like we get fearful or maybe we get scared in the moment and we start speeding up our words. And then you find like, oh my God, I'm talking so much. Have I talked a lot? Have I asked a question? Oh my God, let me slow down. Like there's so many things that go on in our head. But if you really, really just start to analyze the way that you communicate and your style, especially in your presentations, you'll find opportunities to grow. And if that means that you just create more proximity and intimacy with your consumers, wonderful. That's what I want for all of you guys. So listen, thank you for being here. We're going to dive more into the 6 vocal dimensions in future sessions. So stay tuned. But you guys, thank you for everybody that contributed today. I thought that was absolutely fire. Way to come correct for coaching. As always, my friends, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys delivered at a high level today. Have an amazing day. Make today a day that truly matters. Peace and love.